hobby gardener friends, my name is Andrea and we are here today in my garden and we have a special guest with us today. Her name is Sissy. She's a little Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. She came to stay with us for a few weeks while her mom and daddy were in the Ukraine. They are missionaries and they went there for a couple weeks to be a blessing to the folks over there. So Sissy came to stay with us and she has been so sweet. We have really enjoyed having her. While I was out in the yard with her, I got thinking, you know, there may be some plants that she should not be exposed to. I don't normally have pets in the backyard, so I don't often think about what could be poisonous or what could be, harmful to them. And so I went online and I took a look, and to my surprise, I have 5 plants in my garden right now that are toxic to dogs. And I thought there's probably several people out there just like me who hadn't really thought much about what could be toxic to their furry friend. And so you may have those exact plants in your garden right now. I thought, why don't we take a quick tour? I'll show you which 5 are toxic, and then you can see if you've got some of those in your yard too. Are you ready, Sissy? Come take a tour with us. Come on. The first of 5 toxic plants for dogs that I have in my yard is this wax privet. If I were to have little Miss Sissy in my yard full time, I would need to get rid of this privet because it would be so sad for her to ingest anything from the privet plant that could make her sick. I actually believe it has to do with a particular berry, but I wouldn't want to risk it. Wax privet is one of 5 toxic plants I have in my yard for dogs. Plant number 2 that is toxic for dogs, English ivy. And I have a lot. And if you know about English ivy, if you have a little, you will eventually end up having a lot. It's beautiful, but it's not a friend to your furry pet. Plant number 3 that I have in my garden is a chrysanthemum. I would never have guessed that mums would be toxic to dogs. Often we put them in containers. I'm getting ready to do a makeover of this little flower bed. Oftentimes we put them in containers during the fall so they're not really easily accessible. But if you put some of these mums in your garden, you're going to want to be real careful. Just be aware they are not a friend to your pet. All right, the 4th plant that is toxic to dogs is up here in the front yard. Now someone wants to join our tour, huh? I know, she loves to come to the front yard, but it's best to stay in the back where you're safe. All right, so over here in the front yard, azaleas. Again, I would never have thought an azalea would be toxic for a dog. They're everywhere. They're probably one of the most common plants. I think almost every yard has an azalea in it, or had one at one time. All right, Sissy, you want to take us to the 5th and final plant? Come on, let's go. The 5th and final plant that is toxic to dogs is one of my absolute favorites. And it's a good thing that little Sissy is not in our yard all the time, or I would actually have to get rid of it. Or I suppose I could put it up high. It's not over there, kiddo. It's over here. Come on, sis. Come here. Lantana. I brag about Lantana. I have 3 lantana in my yard, actually. Probably will get more. Look at this one. So pretty. The reason that I like lantana so much is the rabbits don't like it. The butterflies love it, the bees, the pollinators, but especially the butterflies. They love it. It draws all kinds of butterflies to my garden. And like I said, the rabbits don't like it. It must taste terrible or something, but they stay away from it. Rarely do they eat it, so I don't have to keep fighting them off. But now that you know that lantana is poisonous to dogs, you're probably going to want to keep yours up and away so the dog can't get to it. Thank you for joining Sissy and I in my garden today. If you would like a longer list of potentially toxic plants that might harm your furry friend, I'll put the website on the screen, aspca.org. I'll also put a phone number. You can call that phone number for more information. And there should be a more in-depth and lengthy list of potentially toxic plants for your pet. Please like my video and subscribe so that you can follow along. I'll have a lot more garden tips, garden tours, and all kinds of fun here in my garden. Favorite Hobby Gardener.